Hello everybody. Today we are going to investigate some ways of making Microsoft Outlook 2010 work for you. I know we all get a little frustrated sometimes at the bulk of emails that we receive any day, so I did a little bit of research, and for those of us who receive 30 or more email messages a day, Microsoft Corporation has created this very nice best practices for Outlook 2010. And I have taken their recommendations and adapted it for use in our elementary school setting. So let's get started. The 4 Ds that Microsoft recommends that you apply to every email message that comes into your inbox. The choices are delete it, delegate it, deal with it, or defer it. So I'm going to go ahead and do each one of these categories in a little bit more detail and model how to actually do that in Microsoft Outlook. The first one is delete. Now obviously if it's just a single message that you know maybe wasn't intended for you or does not apply for you, you would just hit the delete button. But occasionally you come across some multi-messages. Perhaps they are junk mail or spam or what we call e-chatter. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my own email box. I stopped dealing with things at about 1:30 today. You can see that after 1:30 today, I have about 5 emails in my email box that I needed to deal with. The rest, this is all real time. So the things that I'm going to look through are those that I want to delete. All right, Mastery Connect. Okay, nope, I don't want to delete that. This one right here, Emily Self from Great Educators. This is spam. I think maybe I attended a webinar a very long time ago through this organization. I really don't want to receive their updates anymore. So my first option is to unsubscribe from their list. Anytime it's coming from a legitimate source, usually they will go ahead and honor your request to unsubscribe. And then I can just delete it and hope that she doesn't come back again. Twitter, same thing. I could unsubscribe. Hopefully they will honor it. Sometimes they get tricky. I want to stop all emails. Sign in. No, I am not into that. You know what I would prefer to do? I'm just going to take everything from Twitter. I'm going to right click on this message and I'm going to call it junk and block this sender. I don't really want anything from Twitter. I don't use it anymore. And that means that anytime I get an email from Twitter, it'll go straight to my junk email. Let's see. Fazio, no, I don't want to delete any of these. Oh, Costco rewards. That is some serious junk mail. Probably if I click on that, I will get a virus of some sort. I'm not going to click anything. I don't even want to open it. So this one I can right click on. I can junk. Block sender. Let's see, anything else? Oh yes, my Amazon gift card. Again, probably some sort of virus planting email. Right click, junk, and block the sender. I used to get a ton more junk mail. You can see if I go to my junk mail, all of these are ones that I have gotten at one point or another, and I blocked the sender, so I don't even see them anymore. Some of these may look familiar to you. But by doing that repeatedly, as soon as I see them, eventually you just won't see them again, and I deal with a lot less spam every single day. Now then the other part of this is if you just want to ignore a single conversation, it may be a legitimate one, but just one that you're not interested in and you know it's going to create a lot of what I call e-chatter. For example, this gal, let's see, Elena Liscombe, sent this email earlier tonight, said, "Thanks, Betty, for the great muffins today. You'll have to give me the recipe." And Elena decided to send that to the entire staff. And then somebody else, this other Elena, replied all. I want the recipe too. Anyone else who wants it should really reply all too. And we all know that every so often a very well-intended email ends up in a multi-thread e-chatter conversation where really very few people are actually involved or interested in what's going on. But there's an easy way to deal with that where just that one time you can just opt out. Right click, ignore, and yep, we will just ignore this whole conversation from here on out because I didn't really like Betty's muffins. ignore the conversation, it is gone forever. And anybody who replies to any of the threads in that conversation, you just won't see it. All right, moving on. Back to, that is delete. Back to our little presentation. We're going to talk about delegate. Delegating things is to forward it to somebody else, which is one of my most favorite things to do. Obviously, you just hit the simple forward button, but every so often you don't want to forget about it. Just because you forwarded it to somebody else doesn't mean that you're off the hook and the ball is in their court and you're not responsible for it anymore. So I'm going to show you how to add a reminder to something that you forward. For example, oh, Miss Baton, she sent this awesome read, write, and run thing, but I want my assistant to actually make some copies for me. So I'm going to forward this to Elena, but I want to right here follow up. I'm going to add myself a reminder to follow up with Elena. We'll give her till Wednesday at 4 p.m. and click OK. Then I will receive a nice little alert at Wednesday at 4 p.m. to make sure that Elena did what I wanted her to do. So that is sent, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that email. All right. Actually, I'm not going to delete that because I'm going to use that for another example later. Anyhow, all right, my next example of what you can do is to deal with an email. Obviously, you can reply right away. If you know the answer, you reply. We all know how to do that. But to file it in Outlook, every so often you get some emails that you just know you don't want to lose. You see over here under my inbox, I have a few folders already set up. This one is very important, the parent emails. And you can see, got them going all the way back to 2007. I think that's right when we first switched over to Outlook. So all you need to do to create a folder is on this little inbox over here, you right click, new folder, and you can name it whatever you want. Sometimes I get personal stuff at work, so I have a personal folder. All the zones of regulation and nest stuff that we like to hold on to, I keep there. Parent emails, miscellaneous to keep. You can even create a folder inside one of those folders. So I right click on miscellaneous to keep, and there's actually a special folder I want to create for Math PD since I've been facilitating that so far this year. And then, oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. All right, so like this email from Mary Grosh, who I co-facilitated with, I'm just going to move it over to Math PD. She had a great idea. I don't need to deal with it now, but I know when we start planning Math PD, I'm going to want to look at her message again. All right, so then the next thing we can do is you can save your attachments and save your hyperlinks. This is just something I've gotten into the trap many, many times before, where you need a document or a worksheet or a test or a link to a really cool website, and you just keep the email from the first time that a resource was sent to you. Now, it's really not a good place. Outlook isn't intended to be a file storage system, and all it does is clutter up your mess. So what I would recommend is when you have an email and you decide that you need to do it, one of those things includes saving the attachments. And that is as easy as Mrs. Baton's read, write, and run paperwork. I'm just going to open it, file, save as. Go ahead and put that in my OneDrive, and I'm just going to put it in my forms. And it's called registration instructions. I'm going to put read, write, run, just so I know when I'm looking at my own documents what that is. Save it. Done. Let's see, parent intro letter. I should probably save that too. Open it. Save as. Same folder. OneDrive. Forms. Done. All right, and now I can delete that email from Miss Baton. And the final thing that we can do with these emails, that after you maybe didn't want to file them in Outlook, you save the attachments, you save the hyperlinks, is you can put them on your calendar. So I use my Outlook calendar quite a bit, and the way I do that would be, for example, oh, Miss Baton, her run for the Hawk, Wednesday, October 8th. I don't want to have to refer back to my emails to remind myself when that is. I don't happen to use a paper calendar anymore, nor do I want to pull out my personal calendar and put it on there. So this little icon over here is your Outlook calendar. And I know that Wednesday, October 8th, I check her other email. It was at 2:30. So let's go to my calendar, forward to October 8th, go down to about 2:30. Oh, bummer. I have an IEP meeting during that time. I really wanted to run. I'll have to figure that out. All right, so Run for the Hawk. Is that what it was called? I'm not sure. Is on the playground at 2:30 that day. I want an alert. Tell me like 3 days before that meeting happens. I'll get a little buzz. Save and close. And now I'm done with that email. I'm done with that email. I'm done with that email. All right, and there are quite a few others here that could be used with calendar. A reminder at our team meeting on Thursday, we're going to have a special guest. I could put that on my calendar. Social dues being due, I could put that on my calendar with an alert for myself. I have a Lindenwood student coming to visit to observe a student. I could add that to my calendar. And then they would be dealt with. I wouldn't have to go back. I wouldn't have to remember them. I would just get an alert that popped up as soon as I needed it. Moving on, the next function is to defer the emails. These are things that you're not ready to do any of the other actions with. Rather, you just know you need to come back to them later. You may be too busy at this moment. For example, Mastery Connect has updated a couple of assessments that I had been using, and sometimes you have to resync your curriculum map after they do things like that. So I don't have time to get into Mastery Connect right now to deal with it, but instead I'm going to color code. I've cleared all my normal color coding, so I can show you how to quick click. So let me think. This is something that's not urgent. I'll need to deal with it in like a week or two after I give these assessments. So I'm going to click, right click here, green actually, because it's Mastery Connect. And I'm going to call this Deal with in a Bit. It's going to be green and yes, and I can color code that one. Then also green. I didn't want that red. That was an accident. All right, and then Katie, safety binders. I need a class list. Oh, I got to do that because I wonder if she means we're going to have a fire drill tomorrow. So I'm going to right click. I'm deal with this one red. That's a red category. ELA news. Oh, I thought I already replied to her. Oh, right here. You replied to this message. Oh, that's something that's always good to look at. Is you kind of forget to delete something and you can't remember if you dealt with it. Yes, I already dealt with that. That can be deleted. That's what I was going to add to my calendar. This one, JA in a day. We can't get a date set up. I'm going to deal with that in a bit. Green. That I was going to add to my calendar. That's junk. Ignore. And this will need to be deal with later. So I'm going to green color code that. All right, so you can see that besides the ones that I said I was going to add to my calendar, I have pretty much cleaned up my entire email box. The other option I'm not as familiar with is these flags. You can flag them. There are different colors of flags. I'm just not really sure if it will remind you when those things happen, and I didn't care for the different shades of red. I'm more of a visual person, so that's just another option. All right, I am running out of time, so I'm going to zip quickly to the last couple of advanced tricks. One being you can recall a message. Go to your sent items. Oh, Mary, I should have never replied to you. That was a terrible idea. So you open the message by double-clicking. Go to File, Info, Resend or Recall. I can recall it. Bam. That only applies to other people who use Outlook, but it's worth a shot. Sometimes I've used it more than once. All right, the next trick that we wanted to talk to is search. Especially when you have all these emails and you start filing them into boxes, sometimes you're going to lose one. So you can click this little guy in the search box. Where'd it go? You can search if it was from Joni Beck. No, I don't have any. Oh, there are all the emails that I have gotten from Joni Beck or close to Joni Beck. So search is a very good one. Or just a keyword assessment, because I know someone sent me this spelling assessment. Nope, bad example. Anyway, so you can search by keyword, or you can search by who it was to or who it was from. And I am out of time. So thank you very much. And we'll do conditional formatting next time.